We live in very interesting times. These days, you don't need a storefront, you don't need a physical space in order to build a business, in order to grow a business. You can easily do it using the power of social media, using your phone, using your laptop, using an internet connection. How is that possible? It's because we live in a digital economy, and the power of the digital economy has become even more evident during the last year when we were going through the COVID-19 pandemic, and it's still ongoing. We saw a lot of new businesses emerging. We saw a lot of new businesses by women emerging. When we talk about the field of arts and culture, especially in case of females, there are a lot of them, specifically in Pakistan, who are lagging behind. Uh, why is that? Primarily because of a lack of entrepreneurial and digital skills. While this may not be true in the largest cities of Pakistan, the largest urban cities of Pakistan, it holds very much true in the smaller cities of Pakistan, where women struggle with creating a social media presence, where women struggle with having any kind of entrepreneurial education. As a digital business and marketing skills coach, this has been very interesting to me for a very long time, um, noticing all these patterns and all these gaps. So when the opportunity emerged for the WOW grants by the British Council, I thought, why not explore this? The project that I came up with was called Female Artpreneurs in the Digital Economy. It primarily consisted of three verticals. The first one was storytelling, which consisted of thought-provoking conversations with existing females in arts and culture who have established a voice, established a presence on social media using these skills. This was followed by the second part, which comprised of two online courses, which were conducted live on Zoom in 6 classes, which I will be talking about a bit further on in the presentation. The third part was the coaching. This was specifically for those participants who were more interested and more involved in terms of translating their learnings into actual actions, and who wanted to talk about their customized journeys and wanted some roadmap and some advice. If we talk about the very first element of this project, um, we found 5 females that we spoke to about their journeys, about the way that they've found their voice, the way they speak about the things that they care about. We call this feature Trailblazing Entrepreneurs. During these conversations, during these discussions, there were 5 primary themes that emerged. The very first theme is more of a question of, is art even a real profession? A lot of females who adopt to use their artistic and creative skills as a business, as a profession, they're faced with this question.
मैंने कभी नहीं सोचा था कि मैं एक फाइन आर्टिस्ट बनूंगी, क्योंकि मुझे आर्ट के बारे में कोई नॉलेज नहीं था। तो बस बचपन से मुझे कुछ न कुछ बनाने का शौक था। आर्ट को मैंने एज अ हॉबी स्टार्ट किया था। तो आहिस्ता आहिस्ता फिर मैट्रिक एग्जाम देने के बाद फिर मुझे रियलाइज हुआ, फिर मुझे पता चला कि अच्छा फाइन आर्ट्स के लिए भी अलग से इंस्टीट्यूट है जहाँ से लोग पढ़ने जाते हैं और अलग ही एक डिपार्टमेंट है। पहले तो जब मैंने अपनी फैमिली में कहा था कि मैं पढ़ने जा रही हूँ, कराची जाऊंगी, तो सबसे पहले सवाल यही कि तुम क्या पढ़ने जा रही हो? फाइन आर्ट्स। तो मतलब फाइन आर्ट्स को हमारे सोसाइटी में या यहाँ पे पाकिस्तान में आर्ट को इस तरह समझा जाता है कि मतलब जो स्टडीज करे, अगर वो इंजीनियरिंग हो, डॉक्टर हो या मेडिकल में, तो वो बच्चे पढ़ने वाले हैं। तो मतलब फाइन आर्ट्स का हमारे पाकिस्तान में उसको एज इन कोई फील्ड नहीं समझते हैं यहाँ पे। तो वो चीजें मेरे लिए भी थोड़ा सा मुश्किल था कि मैं कैसे उन लोगों को बताऊं कि इसके थ्रू भी लोग ये प्रॉपर एक फील्ड है, जैसे मेडिकल का है, इंजीनियरिंग का है, और इसी तरह फाइन आर्ट्स का भी है। तो वो चीजें थोड़ा सा शुरू में मेरे लिए भी मुश्किल था कि मैं इसको कैसे समझाऊंगी।
If we come to the second theme now, all of us know, I think, and it was reiterated through the participants, through these speakers as well, throughout their sessions, that being an artist is hard, and it's even harder for girls.
And women are not expected to do such kind of a work. For example, if I take my own example, when I started, I didn't have much resources. I didn't really have any investment. I started with a borrowed camera and with two other colleagues who were just graduated, who had nothing to do with filmmaking, but they were artists by nature. So I took them on board, and we started with a borrowed camera, and we went to everyone, all the institutions, to raise funds and pitch our ideas to them. So that time, since we didn't have a vehicle for commute, I used to go around on a bike. So it was really weird for the people to see a woman in short hair carrying a camera and just roaming around on bike, and meeting these men from all the all fields of life. So it was very weird, especially for my family. They would get to hear a lot of rumors from my the people around, and they would try to tell I should do a proper permanent job instead of this.
Number three. So, of course, when you face hurdles, when you face challenges by the society, by your own family, on social media, everywhere, how do you make it? How do you make it in any field? It takes a lot of courage.
Artists definitely have kind of what I refer to my artist trap, is that I want to use my art. I have this voice, I have this craft, I have this talent, and I want to somehow use that in my work. Um, so and also I had to be very, very stubborn uh, and very sure about my abilities, and very brave to even step into this field. Um, Especially as a freelancer, because it is difficult when you are your own manager, your own agent, taking care of everything, your own accountant. Even working sometimes in this field, you might come across people who treat you differently because you are a woman, who treat you with less respect because you're a woman, who treat you as a child because you're a woman. And especially like in my mid 20s, I have a very what do you call it? I have a very childlike face, so they would treat me like a child, and it would just be really frustrating. Even now, I get treated like a young kid who's just graduated. But then when I expose my vocabulary, when I expose my confidence, when I expose my work and the years of work I've put in, the projects that I have done, the professionalism I put into my work, that's when they're like, oh, okay, there's always a change in attitude.
Art is like a piece of yourself. It represents your thinking, your entire thought process, whatever you're going through. So basically, sharing your work is like sharing a part of yourself. And sharing a part of yourself, or especially on social media with the public, with people that you don't necessarily know, makes you vulnerable. It's hard. So there are a lot of females who work in arts and culture, filmmakers, actors, visual artists, digital artists, a lot of people. So what do you think is holding females back, in terms of when it comes to the fields of arts and culture, whether it's kind of capitalizing on social media, whether it's capitalizing on any kinds of other opportunities? What's your take on
लोग क्या कहेंगे?
that?
That's the
Absolutely. summed up
Yes,
in a sentence.
because we're desi, and it's been ingrained into our minds, not regardless of gender, but definitely being female in Pakistan, we have internalized log kya kahenge more than any other gender, simply because of the fact that we've been forced into it, you know. We've been forced to hold the honor of our entire family and gender, really, because we it's just the way that, you know, we've been taught. So most women are afraid of creating simply because of how they're going to be perceived outside of the traditional or cultural specific lens. Then there is the I guess the more universal theme of superficial lens. I know that a lot of women are continuously fighting against the narrative of how we look, but it's been a part of our conditioning since the day we were born. Like, for us to come in front of a camera is like, it is a monumental task. And so a lot of women have extreme issues with the way that they look, and they don't want, not only do they not want to deal with their own insecurities, they don't want to deal with public scrutiny at the same time. And again, these are all things that have just been thrust upon us as a gender. So there's the cultural side of things, that it's like, you know, we're afraid of being judged by the people around us. Then there's the superficial side of things, where we're afraid of being judged based off of what we look like, you know. And then I think that a lot of people, and women in particular, also feel the idea of, what do I have to offer? You know, imposter syndrome is extremely prevalent within women, specifically women of color, because again, that's just ancient conditioning right there, that we feel like we have nothing significant to offer.
It's difficult to get over that feeling, isn't it? That you're not enough and that you don't have enough to offer. Once you do get over it for a time, um, and start to build a business on social media, the thing is that it's not a piece of cake.
I think when I started out, I was really insecure, and I कभी कभार मुझे अभी भी होता है because I'm still in the learning process. I used to see all of these artists और उनके followers होते थे, and they have this like collection of work. Their galleries में उनका काम लग रहा है, and used to be like, I want to be like this person. और मुझे होता है I would copy their art style and their color palette, and this is I would set a standard कि ये बंदा अच्छा है तो मुझे इसी तरह करना है. But the truth is that I should have worked more on my process in understanding कि मैं किस तरह उस चीज़ को पेंट कर सकती हूँ. Because art is like channeling your emotions, और हर कोई अलग अलग तरीके से चैनल करता है, चाहे it can be something very dark or it can be something that you just want to express. It can be in colors या जो भी. तो I kind of struggled with that in the beginning, and then I had to force myself to cut myself off from these like standards that I've set for myself कि नहीं यही करना है और इसी तरह होगा. And ये हमारे टीचर्स भी हमें बहुत बताते हैं कि there might be some techniques that are the standard कि आपको इस तरह पेंट मिक्स करना है, and this is how you're supposed to work with this tool. But you adding your twist to the process is your uniqueness to whatever you're creating. मतलब अपनी resources देख के मैं बनाती हूँ, because a lot of people that I follow are international artists who make like enamel pins and mugs or clothing जो कि यहाँ पे इतनी easily suppliers नहीं मिलता, and I'm just one person running this business, so I need to like see my budget for everything that I'm doing. So I started out with watercolor journals, which were not that common when I started out. और बहुत सारे लोगों को supplies ढूंढने में मसला होता है क्योंकि यहाँ कराची में there are like only 3 art shops. तो I started with those, and I just randomly got these 4 or 5 journals made और मैंने इसकी pictures ली थी स्कूल में जाके, and I posted on my story. और शुरू में there was barely any response because people did not know कि watercolor journal कोई अलग चीज़ है, the differences of paper or how are you supposed to use them. So I had to like create this awareness of my product. मेरा account 2015 में बनाया था, and I started making products around like 2019. So तब तक I was like building an audience, and मेरा sole purpose was a blog. I mean, it still is, but I also make merchandise on the side because I am I'm like I'm supposed to earn from what I'm making. So also I run a business with my sister, the Hadia sisters. We make Islamic home decor and badges, pins और ये सब चीज़ें, stationaries. तो मेरा kind of दो तरह से experience रहा है because we started out in 2015 as well. और मैंने अपने प्रोडक्ट्स जो हैं हदिया सिस्टर्स से अलग रखे हैं लाइक द जर्नल्स एंड लाइक माय आर्ट प्रिंट्स एंड स्टफ सो आई स्टार्टेड दैट इन 2018-19 तो शुरू में वी barely had any market क्योंकि me and my sister started this business because we felt like कि ईद पे या रमज़ान में या maybe I want to give this ayat as a gift to my friend but I don't have any options. यहाँ पे gifts usually we give clothes and jewelry and stuff like that. तो we wanted to make things जो कि गिफ्टिंग पर्पस के लिए भी यूज़ हो और sort of reviving the sunnah of giving gifts. Thus the name Hadiya Sisters because Hadiya means gift. तो शुरू में we didn't have any audience. We also had kind of a unique selling point क्योंकि इस तरह के products उस वक्त कोई भी नहीं बना रहा था. So
These conversations were indeed thought-provoking, coming from females who have been working in the field of arts and culture for years and years, and who have established social media presence, who have established profiles. So all of these things came in really handy when also delivering the courses to some of these incredible women who were from all over Pakistan, starting from KPK um, and Balochistan to Punjab, South Punjab particularly, also Gilgit-Baltistan, a lot of rural cities, a lot of smaller cities in Pakistan that we don't usually see or think about when it comes to thinking about the arts and culture scene. I had an incredible time interacting with all of these incredible females um, who have been working on a smaller, medium kind of a scale for such a long time. And they had so many questions that they wanted to ask about how to build a social media presence, how to go about building a business. So much enthusiasm and so much to learn from them. When I was conceptualizing this whole project, the entire purpose, the entire aim was to, number one, highlight the stories, the success stories, the inspirational stories that other females can learn from, can take away a lot of useful things from. Secondly, it was for these females who are a part of the courses to enable them to build their ideas, to sort of build upon their ideas and create a profitable, sustainable business out of it. We had around 40 participants overall, but of course, because they're live sessions, so they keep on fluctuating, but there were recordings available in a closed Facebook group where everyone was able to listen to all the recordings later on if they missed out on any particular day. We were able to have audiences from more than 15 cities. We're able to do 6 live Zoom classes for 2 courses. Each of those were about 2 hours. So almost 12 hours in total of the classes. And then 8 coaching sessions, which makes up for almost 4 hours of coaching calls that I did one-on-one with the participants who were more interested in sort of exploring their roadmaps and exploring how they can implement the learnings of the courses on their own social media channels. I'm incredibly happy and proud to actually have worked on this project with so many females. And now we have a community, we have a WhatsApp group, we have a Facebook group where we interact, where we talk to each other. And the most beautiful part is that these ladies, they cheer each other on. We have about 70 of them, some of the people who didn't end up taking the course, but they're still a part of the community. If you're from the arts and culture field and if you would like to explore these courses, the recordings are available for a self-paced course at my website, thetrailblazerx.org. You can also connect with me on Instagram. My handle is Learn with Shehab. And if you would like to listen to the entire conversations of all these incredible trailblazing entrepreneurs, the clips that I featured above, you can take a look at my YouTube channel. It has been an incredible pleasure working on this project with all these people and getting to make so many incredible connections. So I'm very grateful to the British Council and WOW for giving me this opportunity. And I look forward to connecting with more people who are listening. Please do reach out, and I look forward to more people taking the courses on the website. And thank you so much. Thank you.